Hey, let's talk about something cheerful.
Yeah.
Something very cheerful.
Death.
I like that music. You're all gonna die. Darksiders 2, we talked about this last week. It's gonna be brutal. You're all like,
It has
death.
to. It's got death in it.
Yeah, and he looks like Nathan Explosion with a skull mask on.
Yeah, that's right. You said that.
Or Skeletor on a really emo day. Or Danzig and Skeletor's baby. If Danzig and Skeletor had a kid, he would look like Death in Darksiders 2. But yeah, you guys got my preview spiel last week, so I don't need to inundate you with Darksiders 2 THQ propaganda anymore. We got an interview that I did with the artist behind the world of Darksiders 2, Joe Mad, who is also known as Joe Madureira. He is the guy that kind of helped create the Darksiders universe, and we, when we went and played it, we talked with him. So
I love how Death can rock the color purple like nobody's business.
What are people gonna do? Be like,
I'd expect him to be wearing like red or gray or all black, but he's just like, you know what? I'm Death. I'm wearing purple, and it's awesome.
Yeah, well, you know, it's because real men know how to rock purple.
Maybe Death is part of the Saints, just like you.
I think he might be. I mean, it is a THQ game.
THQ likes purple.
Yeah, well, you know who else likes purple? Joe Mad. So let's talk to Joe Mad now. What's going on, guys? We're still here talking about Darksiders 2 because we cannot get enough Darksiders 2. And I'm here with Joe Mad. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for asking. So you are the driving force behind the visuals to Darksiders 2. And let's talk about Death because, you know, he's a very unique looking character. He does seem to share some similarities with his brother War. Like if somebody put them side by side, I might think, yeah, those guys could be related. But he's definitely got his own thing going on.
Yeah, I mean they're all part of a race called the Nephilim, which you'll learn a lot more about in this game. And you know, we knew War's archetype is more of like a tank, you know, and so Death, even though he is a lot more agile and built to be a little more nimble and deadly, a lot less armor, lighter weapons, stuff like that, we did want them to look like they were from the same, you know, world.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of the like super intricate armor detail and whatever. Death just wears a lot less of it.
Nice. Now, are they like actual brothers? Like, did they get raised by the same mom and dad?
Kind of, sort of, in a way. I mean, you will learn a lot more about that in this game. I mean, they're not, they don't procreate like humans do per se, but they are from the same gene pool, I guess.
So it's more of like a metaphysical brotherhood?
Yeah, yes. One of their brothers is female, actually. Fury. So, you know,
that brings up a whole slew of questions that we probably shouldn't get into here.
Let's not get into that right now.
Well, when you were designing Death, like what were like the key features you wanted to focus on?
Visually?
Yeah, visually.
Well, we knew, you know, people have expectations of what Death is. Some people think of him as the Grim Reaper or whatever. And we didn't want. I felt right away like if he had a face, like people would kind of like be turned off, or like, you know, everyone has their own expectation of what it is. And I think keeping the skull face or like a mask and just keeping that hidden instantly sort of like adds this like air of mystery to the character, and it just felt right. So that was one of the things early on, like the first drawing I ever did of him had a mask and he kept it like the whole way through. And then after that, you know, the gameplay drives a lot of it. Like I said, he is a lot quicker. So we knew he'd be scrambling up walls and running across beams and all kinds of acrobatics. So obviously, wearing heavy armor would be awful.
Yeah,
for that kind of stuff. So it just kind of like pushed us down this path of like okay, he's more of like a lightly armored assassin, and you know, like War does the heavy stuff. So it just kind of, you know, just whatever looks cool and fits within that, like, you know,
that kind of world or environment.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Speaking of worlds and environments, now the first Darksiders, for a post-apocalyptic game, very lush, vibrant atmosphere in a lot of the areas that you would encounter. This time around, you're going to a different place, and it seems like there's a lot more variety to the environments you're going to encounter.
Yeah, there's a ton of variety. In the first game, we were sort of limited to the story taking place on Earth for most of the game, and once we told that part of the story, we were happy to, in the sequel, sort of be able to focus on other aspects of the Darksiders universe. You know, there's some entire worlds that we had wanted to like show in the first game that we didn't even get to scratch the surface of. So, you know, you'll see like angel realms, demon realms. There's like the realm of the dead, which is really cool. You know, the underworld in our fiction is sort of composed of like multiple worlds within worlds.
What do you think like is the biggest lesson you learned making Darksiders 1? Because that was kind of like your entry.
And there you go. If you want to hear the answer to that last question, you're going to have to wait until we post it up on YouTube later.